Beneath the unforgiving sands of Saqqara, something was discovered that hadn't seen the light of day in over 4,000 years. A sealed pyramid, completely untouched, undisturbed, and forgotten by time. For Egyptian archaeologists, this was not just rare. This was unheard of. The site had been stumbled upon during a routine survey using ground-penetrating radar. The readings suggested something unusual, a symmetrical formation buried deep beneath layers of limestone rubble. At first, they assumed it was yet another mastaba, the flat-roofed tombs common in the region. But as they dug deeper, something remarkable began to emerge, a stepped core encased in a limestone sheath. This wasn't just a tomb. This was a pyramid, and a sealed one at that. Experts knew immediately that they had uncovered something significant. Word reached the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, and a team of elite archaeologists was dispatched to the site. What they found shocked them. The outer casing stones were still in place, and the pyramid's entrance had been sealed with massive granite blocks, a sign that no looter had ever entered. Pyramids of this period, believed to be from the 5th or possibly early 6th dynasty, were often ransacked centuries ago, but this one had defied the odds. For millennia, it had stood untouched, hidden just meters below the surface. But this discovery raised a bigger question. Who was buried here? And why was their pyramid completely erased from the historical record? Inside, the corridors were narrow and angled downward. After days of careful excavation, the team finally reached the burial chamber, a large room supported by columns, its walls covered in faded cryptic hieroglyphs. In the center was a black basalt sarcophagus, unopened, sealed. With robotic cameras and non-invasive sensors, they began to scan the room. Initial readings showed fragments of canopic jars, gold foil, wooden figurines, and something unexpected, a copper chest with inlaid turquoise. A small inscription on the lid read a name lost to time. Neferneith. It wasn't a name found in any royal list. It wasn't in textbooks. There were no references in temple inscriptions. Who was Neferneith? The initial theory, she may have been a royal woman, possibly a daughter or consort of a forgotten king. Some suggested she could have even ruled in her own right, albeit briefly. But if so, why had history erased her? The tomb's carvings provided tantalizing clues. One showed a woman in a royal stance, holding a flail and crook, symbols of pharaonic power. Her headdress bore the uraeus cobra, another mark of royalty. And yet, the inscriptions beside her spoke of silence and concealment. Phrases like, hidden ruler, she who guarded the secret, and chosen in darkness, repeated over and over. Historians were stunned. Was Neferneith a pharaoh whose existence had been purposely erased from memory? If true, this could reshape everything we know about Egypt's Old Kingdom, a time thought to be well documented, yet clearly still holding secrets. But it gets stranger. Inside a side chamber adjacent to the main burial room, they discovered a sealed compartment. When opened, it revealed scrolls, perfectly preserved, written in a mix of hieratic script and early proto-cursive hieroglyphs. One of them, translated by papyrologists at Cairo University, mentioned an event called the Night of Falling Stars. It described a celestial omen, a meteor shower that struck terror into the hearts of the people. The scroll claimed that the gods withdrew their favor and that Neferneith was appointed to calm the land and seal the truth beneath the sands. Seal the truth? This wasn't just a burial, it was a cover-up. What truth did she seal, and who helped her do it? The discovery of the mysterious scrolls marked a turning point. Suddenly, Neferneith was no longer just a forgotten royal. She became a puzzle, a missing piece in a story buried for millennia. The references to celestial omens, secrecy, and divine warnings hinted that her reign may have been shaped by events far outside the usual dynastic power plays of the Old Kingdom. But then came the most baffling find yet. Behind the burial chamber, workers detected a second passage, one completely hidden behind what appeared to be a false wall. When archaeologists carefully dismantled the stone layers, they uncovered a narrow tunnel sloping even deeper underground. At the end of the passage was a sealed door made not of stone but of copper, and it was covered in etchings, unlike anything found in standard Egyptian tombs. Some of the symbols were familiar: stars, serpents, the Eye of Horus. But others weren't Egyptian at all. There were repeating patterns, spirals, interlocked triangles, and shapes that bore an eerie resemblance to Sumerian and even pre-Indus Valley symbology. One archaeologist whispered, "This doesn't belong here." When the door was finally opened, it led to a circular chamber, a rarity in ancient Egyptian architecture. The domed ceiling was lined with polished obsidian tiles that reflected the torchlight like a planetarium. Etched into the black stone was a star map, not of the night sky today, but of the sky as it looked over 4,000 years ago. And in the center of the room, a large black stone slab, an altar, positioned perfectly beneath the star Sirius. Now, Sirius wasn't just any star to the ancient Egyptians. Known as Sopdet, it was considered the bringer of the Nile floods, a celestial herald of rebirth and divine favor. Aligning the chamber with Sirius suggested that this room wasn't just ceremonial. It was astronomical, possibly ritualistic. One of the star charts featured an unusual marking, a cluster of stars circled in red pigment. According to modern astronomers brought in for analysis, this cluster aligns with a region of the sky that would have been visible during a major solar event, a solar eclipse recorded in ancient Babylonian texts around 2375 BCE. But that date was even older than the pyramid itself. So what exactly were these people trying to preserve or protect? Then came another revelation. Within the altar was a hidden compartment. Inside it, a golden idol, depicting a figure unlike any pharaoh or god ever documented. It had the body of a woman, but its head was encased in an elaborate helmet-like mask, studded with lapis lazuli and emeralds. Across its chest were 7 engraved lines, each inscribed with a number. The last line simply read, "She is sealed until the stars return." Archaeologists were stunned. Was Neferneith a queen, a priestess, or something else entirely? Was she chosen to safeguard a cosmic event? And what was sealed that the stars would one day return for? What started as a simple tomb excavation had now spiraled into a deeper mystery, one that some scholars began referring to as the Saqqara Enigma. Stranger still, there was almost no mention of Neferneith in Egyptian royal records. No stelae, no cartouches, no temple dedications, as if she had been deliberately erased. But why? One theory suggests that Neferneith led a brief, emergency reign during a period of chaos, perhaps a great famine, a solar catastrophe, or even civil war. She may have been appointed not by bloodline, but by divine decree, a chosen guardian in a time of crisis. Once stability returned, the traditional priesthood or royal family may have buried her legacy out of fear or shame. But other, more radical thinkers believe the chamber may be evidence of something much older, a cross-cultural knowledge exchange between early civilizations, or something not of this world. The presence of non-Egyptian symbols, the celestial alignment, the cryptic warning, all of it seems to defy the historical norms of Old Kingdom tombs. If this was truly an effort to seal something, then what exactly were they keeping hidden? And why go to such lengths to ensure that it was forgotten? Whatever the truth, the Pyramid of Neferneith stands as one of the most profound archaeological discoveries of the modern era. A tomb untouched for 4,000 years, a woman lost to history, a chamber of stars sealed beneath the earth. And one lingering question: was it a burial or a warning? That's it for today, but if this mystery got your imagination spinning, go ahead and give the video a like and share it with your fellow history buffs. And hey, if you want to dive deeper into Egypt's lost dynasties or other strange tomb discoveries, just click on one of these videos. We'll be waiting.